Hey, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Day 3 of nasally voice Joey. I swear, I'm feeling better. Just this cold just won't go away. But today we're going to talk about the indirect winners and losers from the February 2019 ban list. So it's pretty obvious that, like decks like Agarn Storm, Cell Chain, like the Pure Cell Chain, and certain decks like that were pretty far hindered from this ban list, and those are like the obvious losers. But in this video, we're gonna talk about the indirect winners and losers. Some decks that kind of pick up steam from this ban list, and some that kind of lose steam from the same ban list as well. So before we get into that, if you guys are new to the channel, hitting that subscribe button would be super duper awesome of you guys. And I want to give a ginormous thank you to every single one of you guys that watches my videos. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subs. You guys are absolutely amazing. Dragon Ball Super community is the best community I've ever been a part of, and we're just looking to keep going on this awesome journey. Thank you guys so much. Road to 3K. You guys are all the best. With that being said, if you guys want to join a Discord server where we talk about everything Dragon Ball Super related, we have an awesome community in our Discord down in the description below. I really recommend you guys check that out. We talk about everything Dragon Ball Super related there. I've never met a group of more helpful people, so definitely check that out. And if you guys are a longtime fan of the channel, consider checking out my Patreon. Really helps me just keep bringing you guys this content. There's a ton of competitive content for you guys to read on there as well with the articles I've been posting, so I think it's worthwhile. You should check it out. With that being said, we're gonna get right into this video. So I already talked about the obvious winners and losers, so we'll get into the indirect losers of the February 2019 ban list. So pure Lineage decks take a decent hit from this ban list, and what I mean by that is just like I think that the storm problem could have been handled in a way that Lineage decks could have been very good. They would have had two very excellent cards in terms of Bardock the Progenitor and Scrambling Assault Goten. If Bardock just happened to get errated to Lineage leader only, you can only play this card if your leader's a Lineage. I've been saying that for a long time. Honestly, the ban list is growing on me more and more every day. So I'm not complaining about the ban list. I'm not saying that it's a problem or anything like that. But that was just one way that it could have been changed to where Lineage leaders would have a really big boost in power. But now they lose like one of the best cards in their archetype, which is Scrambling Assault and Goten. Again, for the betterment of the game, it was a hit that I'm okay with. But yeah, a decent loss there for pure Lineage decks, but I digress. Second big indirect loser to this ban list, Mighty Agarn. So this is a deck that was just starting to pick up steam coming out of the ARG Connecticut event with my friend Larry, creating the deck for the most part on his own with a little bit of help from me, and piloting it to a victory in Connecticut. The deck also got top 32 at AC. So this is more of like a fair aggro deck. It did abuse Unyielding Spirit Trunks and Senzu Bean to untap, but it wasn't killing until turn 4 on average. Turn 3 in certain instances, but usually turn 4, maybe turn 5, depending on the matchup. So this is a much more fair aggro deck, and the Unyielding Spirit Trunks hit kind of is an indirect blow to that deck as well. However, the deck still does have Mighty Mask to search out the one copy of Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and arguably the best way to run Unyielding Spirit Trunks is going to be to play Mighty Mask to search it out. So with that being said, we're still working on updates to that deck, so stay tuned for that if you guys were a big fan of that deck and want to see the future of it. We're kind of adjusting it to a more long-range game, so keep that in mind. Another indirect loser to this ban list, Set 1 Vegeta. So I bring this up, it's not a super duper meta relevant leader by any means, it's more rogue than anything else, but this leader does have like a cult following, and probably the best way to play this is either with the Storm package or with the red-blue engine. A lot of times the Mighty Agarn engine, that was something I was experimenting with when I was looking at alternative variations to play the Mighty Agarn or a Mighty Mask engine / Quick Thing Gotenks package with. But Set 1 Vegeta takes a huge hit from this because he's one of the aggressive blue leaders. Like, if you look at this leader, it's pure aggression with a take a life gain crit, and losing that Unyielding Spirit Trunks is a big hit to that leader directly. So another innocent bystander from this ban list, if you will. Another indirect loser from this ban list is Mono Yellow Galactic Frieza. So this is a rogue deck that was pretty much squeaking out tops all over the past events. I mean, this deck, I believe, topped Nats. It topped a bunch of regionals before Nationals. It topped an event post-Nationals. This is one of those decks that it was very strong, pretty solid rogue pick, and it was Mono Yellow. Of course, it abused the swap engine. It abused the Bardock swapping into the Scrambling Assault Sun Goten, but it had a lot of other things going for it. You had like your Chaozu Krillin package, which now is probably going to become the main drive of the entire deck. That's going to be a lot of where your card advantage comes from. But losing that Goten just lost the deck a lot of consistency. You still have plenty of swappable targets like Dependable Dynasty, Son Goku, carrying Mother Videl, things like that. But this deck definitely lost a bit in power. Again, ban totally justified in my opinion, but that's another deck that took an indirect hit from the ban list. Now we'll talk about the indirect winners of the ban list. You know, these are cards, like the cards on the ban list did not necessarily directly affect these cards or these decks, but they give either these cards a boost and different things like that. So one of the indirect winners of the 2019 ban list is the Cell Leader. So the OG Cell Leader, he takes a big boost from this ban list because he becomes a lot more playable in terms of the actual Android strategy and the cell chain. You guys might have seen on this channel, we've experimented with the Cell Leader, pretty much everything outside of the actual cell chain, because he was just the worst leader to play a cell chain with. You didn't get the drawing cards like you do with Super 17. You didn't get the cheaper threat casting with like the OG Android 17-18 leader. But now this leader can play Cell's Birth. You can actually cast a 5-drop for 3 energy, almost like the OG play. You just won't get like the come into play, pop a guy, draw a card effect, but he does gain a bit of playability with that. Now you might be wondering, well, that sounds like a really extra card heavy deck, and you would be correct. You'd be playing a lot of extra cards. You want to open with your Cell's Birth. You have your negates. If you're playing blue, you have Sensu Bean. Maybe you have Objection, things like that. But one of the cool things about this leader is he also got an indirect boost from Chile coming out, the 2-drop Chile from Clash of Fates, the feature rare. So a lot of people know that with this leader, if you have the Chile on board, essentially you can turn any card in your hand into a -2 to your opponent. So basically trading 1 for 2, which is really, really good. And your Cell Leader can absorb kind of your extra cards from your hand to turn those into, you know, -2s to your opponent. So any dead extra cards in your hand have a utility, whether it's just you pop a battle card on your opponent's board, and if you have Chile, you have some added pressure. So you can go like Cell's Birth on 1, you can go Chile on 2, and then a Cell Chain whenever you need to do it later on. And you know, that picks up a lot of playability post ban list. So kind of interesting, I thought. Another indirect winner is Dependable Dynasty Son Goku. So guys, before you guys rip me apart in the comment section, Storm took a ginormous hit from this ban list. I'm not trying to denounce that. I'm not trying to say anything against that. However, don't be fooled. 1-2 swap, Bardock into you know 2-drop swaps is still a very strong, very aggressive play. There's no play in this game that really gives you that much value for aggro deck. You know, 1 energy for 2 attackers. That's super duper value for an aggro deck. But you know, you lose a lot of pluses with Goten being gone. But you still have 1-drop Bardock, which is gaining you a card, and then you can swap, and then a 10k attack, and then you swap into Dependable Dynasty Son Goku for a 2-drop 15k swing for 1 energy. So that's still really good. So this card basically is an indirect winner from this ban list because he's going to become the main workhorse of any deck trying to play the Storm engine. I feel weird calling it a Storm engine when with Goten not being there, because Bardock Goten is the heart and soul of the Storm engine. So I think I'm going to start calling it like just, I don't know, Lineage or 1-2 swap, I guess, something like that. Maybe I'll call it Storm again, but this is going to become the main workhorse of the Storm deck from here on out. So another indirect winner of the ban list. Then we have the Shenron Leader. So again, not a Sky is Falling video, not anything like that, but the Shenron Leader gains a lot of power when aggro decks have been weakened in the format, and we definitely will see that with the ban list. Like I said, 1-2 swap, still powerful, not as powerful as it once was, but still very, very playable. But because of that, the Shenron Leader will see you know, a little bit boost in power from that. I mean, if Storm gets weaker, Shenron just gets stronger. That's kind of like how it works, because when Storm was the best deck in the format, Shenron can't really exist in that format. But now that Storm is weakened, Shenron will become a lot stronger and a lot more playable. Not that it wasn't playable already, but you get what I mean. It's becoming a lot more stronger. Then we have the final indirect winner of the 2019 ban list, the entire Rogue Gallery. So I don't even know yet what like card I'll use to describe the Rogue Gallery, but hopefully something funny. But yeah, the entire Rogue Gallery is going to get a huge buff from like the lack of Storm. Like I said, I keep saying 1-2 swap is going to be a powerful deck, but you know, definitely more fair than it once was, especially with the inclusion of Borgos and striving to be the best on Goku, and eventually we're gonna get the Godly Destruction Whis, I think it's called, the one that is basically a yellow Borgos. So with all these things happening, aggro in general is taking a ginormous hit. So that means a lot of these rogue decks, any rogue deck you want, it could be Mono Red Yamcha, it could be Xeno Maidens, a lot of rogue decks are gonna be able to play the game now. Now what you're going to have to look at is, can your deck beat Janemba, and can your deck beat Shenron Gogeta? Those are two things you're going to have to look at when applying your road deck, but at least now you're not going to have to look at, can my deck beat Storm? You're not going to have to play certain negate cards. Maybe you won't have to play the 1-10k combos to, you know, defend out of big swings. Maybe you can build your deck to, you know, do more things against the current metagame, and maybe you have to prepare a little bit less for Storm. And for that reason, I think that the entire Rogue Gallery in Dragon Ball Super is going to get a big upswing from this ban list. So guys, with that being said, that's going to bring this video to an end. Those are my thoughts on, you know, the winners, the indirect winners and losers of this ban list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What decks or cards do you guys think, you know, won or lost from this ban list? Let me know down in the comments below. Indirect stuff, don't give me the obvious answers. But thank you guys so much for watching. With that being said, that's going to bring this video to an end. My name is Joey. This is Crossroad TCG. and I'll see you guys in the next video.
You actually sat through all of that and made it to the end? I don't know how you did it, but now that you're here, you might as well hit the subscribe button that's right above me, or maybe check out some of these other videos. I don't know, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. I really don't know how you did it, but good on you.